Hello everyone. Today we're streaming once again a tournament on lichess. Fatality and Pinkamena will be playing today. One game already started. It's a Pinkamena game. So let's watch this one. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, knight C3. So I got knight C3 is the move that's like not pretending for the opening advantage. Not causing too much problems for black. But it seems like it's caught black off guard. So Victoria is thinking knight f6, bishop b5. That's a usual sequence of moves. d6 is played. Yeah, d4. White use the opportunity to pick up the center. a6 is a blunder. Yeah, knight takes e6 should be winning now. Yeah, and that's it. So now we have an extra exchange and a pawn. And this might be a relatively easy conversion. So Rook e1 maybe will be played now, yeah. Now we may be thinking about e5, for example. I don't think that's really necessary. Maybe a bishop g5 or knight d5. Bishop g5 is a nice one. The exchange is made. Oh, and e5. That's nice piece of tactics. Bishop g5 is played. The exchange. Queen takes on d6. Bishop goes c6, attacking the g2 pawn, but this is not really scary yet. So queen g3 can be played. Pawn is safe. f5. Now maybe h4 can be considered. Yeah, that's it. I'm in a good form today. I'm guessing the moves. That's more like it. f4. Queen g4 now can be played. No, queen h2 instead. That's a little bit passive, but can afford this. Queen takes f4 can be maybe played now, but white decide not to give up the g2 pawn. Quite reasonable. Queen b8 is played, and yeah, now white is causing like the consequences of having the queen on h2. For the people asking of an opportunity to play in the same tournament as these girls are playing, it's a chess fight night arena. I assume maybe the link is in the description. I'm not sure. If you want to play especially against Fatality and Pinkamena, the only way is to be the sponsor of the channel, I assume. Yeah. King h8 is played. Now we have 3 pawns and an exchange. Thank you. Thank you, Moonlight X. I'm not reaching my best results, to be honest. In the tournaments that was on Sunday, I was playing like maybe 2 or 3 times, and I was playing really awful. I'm not in the best of forms now. Queen goes to c4. Now the exchange is made, and black will be happy to take the h4 pawn, but I mean, that's not really make some difference. The rook on f8 is attacked. White, I think, have to play something like queen f2, but not now. Now rook e8 is just winning the game. Or queen c8 rather, yeah. That's fine, black resigns. And that means that we are going to the fatality game. Oh, that's not something too interesting, to be honest. It's a different colored bishop's endgame. Nothing, I think, special to be seen here. I don't think that black really can present some problems, or white rather. f5 is played, so I think that it's better to go back to Pinkamena game. It's just starting now. e4 is played, and Pinkamena taking a berserk. Wow, that's brave. Trying to convert the rating advantage. For people wondering why Fatality is playing without camera, that's because some technical issues. She's playing. That's what matters. Oh, knight d4, wow. Now the idea maybe was to play bishop takes c3, check, no. a5 is played instead, so for some reason black decided to give up a pawn, and with the berserk on the cards, that's not a good sign, to be honest. Castling, now knight takes d5 might be a threat. No, knight takes d5 was a good move, yeah. And black still can play this, and still can play this. That's some tactics straight from the children tactical book, but neither of the opponents sees that. It's a blitz game after all, so let's not be too strict. c5 is played. D takes c6, b takes c6. Rook a goes to d1. c5 is played. Now bishop maybe is going to c6, trying to put some pressure on the e4 pawn. No, rook b8 is played instead. That's not looking good. I think e5 might be working here. Not just working, it might be just winning the game. So white could have played like e5, d takes e5, bishop takes f6, they exchange it, queen will take on d7, and that's it. White didn't see this continuation, so decided otherwise, exchanged on f6, played knight d5. Now the exchange on f6 will happen, and white will happily capture the d6 pawn, and will have a relatively easy endgame. Bishop goes to e6. Maybe some black's counter chances are on playing c4 or a4 rather. King h8 is not a move that you'd like to make in an endgame. a4 is giving black one more chance to play c4. It's not used. Why not c4? c4 now, definitely. No, rook d8 is played. That's not good, because now white can just simply exchange, take on c5, take on a5, and win the game without too much difficulties. I don't see this one going into black's favor, so let's go back to Fatality game. Fatality took the berserk. The opponent is not responding yet. What's happening here? The game is not starting, and Fatality won the game just because of the absence of the opponent. Yeah, Fatality Pinkamena's game is reaching its logical conclusion. Nothing interesting to be watching there, and she resigns. Reasonable. So the games are starting, and Fatality is playing against the opponents that have just won the game against Pinkamena. So let's see if sister can get the revenge. Bishop goes to g2, castling, and d4. So we have something like open Catalan maybe, but c4 is not played yet. Corrected. The usual plan here is to go b3, bishop b2. Then there are some plans like a4, a5, or maybe rook e1, then e4. Bishop b4 is played, and black take on d2. That's not good in terms of the positional play. I don't see why this exchange is good for black, but I definitely see the drawbacks, and that's one of them. Now black is about to lose an exchange, yeah, because every rook move will be faced with knight takes c8, then bishop takes the rook. So black decides to lose the exchange otherwise. Knight goes to f6, f4. Yeah, I think that's Fatality is skilled player, skilled enough to easily win this kind of position with a minute and 11 seconds, more than enough. Bishop goes to c5. The bishop on c8 is just useless. h5, queen d2, maybe e5 was possible, and then take on h5. Queen d2 is more like accurate. So what's happening in the other game? Let's rotate to the Pinkamena game, because this game is much more competitive at this exact moment. h6 is played, so we have some endgame. White maybe have some sort of an advantage because Yeah, the pawns are like more far away from the king side, and maybe we can. Oh, that's an unnecessary blunder. No, well, I was saying that white had this advantage, but black has the advantage of the open files C and B. So overall, I think black had a very comfortable position, a little bit of an advantage. That blunder definitely helps black, and this one is even worse because now black plays rook e1 check, bishop takes on d3, and this game is not competitive anymore. Back to fatality game. She's converting her extra exchange. Now black have some compensation, so a pawn, and white's king is not having like a very good positioning. So that's why white even decide to give up the b4 pawn, maybe. Trying to create some active plays. Because if black are given some time, he'll play rook a2. And that's not looking good. Oh, and that's really a missed opportunity for black. Black should have played rook a2. And I think it will be a draw. And now white have to convert. White has to convert this. Oh, king e1 that's unnecessary because white have a huge time trouble and should have just agreed for the draw and played rook e2. Young players often underestimate how the king matters in a game. So you see Fatality in this game, cutting her king off on e1. Could have gone to e3 instead, for example. Maybe it will give some counter chances. In this position, the only chance is if black blunders rook f4 check. That's not the case anymore. It's not possible. Bishop e4, yeah. And should be quite comfortable for black. I don't see how black can choke this with only 3 seconds left. King goes to e5, so Fatality is trying her best.
Ну, у меня видно все.
But it's not going to work.
Так.
Please, guys, let me know
Ложись в трубку или что?
if your sound is fine on the stream, because we may be facing some technical issues. So back to Pinkamena game. In this position, she has an extra rook. That's looking nice, and she took the berserk as well. That means that she'll have 1 extra point after winning this game. Yeah, she's doing well, feeling it. a5 is played. Bishop may be going to f6, but no, black exchange instead. It's usually good to exchange pieces when you have a material advantage. That's not like... In this position, it's like that as well. So knight goes to c4. We may think about bishop a6 maybe. We may like essentially make any move and it will still be fine. Rook goes to d7, and I think it's better to watch the fatality game because this one is done. The fatality game is not looking like too intriguing as well because she has an extra bishop. And this is not going to be too difficult. Yeah, bishop g6 is played, rooks are exchanged, and with a minute left, it's more than enough to win this game. So c3 now. Maybe we're playing, yeah, just exchanging bishop f7. So fatality is not giving her opponent an opportunity even to give one check. So trying play it with minimum risk. C4 is played. C4 is like provoking a lot of exchanges, and yeah, after B4 we can just take the B4 pawn, and we're gonna have a strong pawn on C4. Queen D4, Queen D6 is played, yeah. Strong players like Fatality don't miss opportunities like this one. Even C3 is played. That's somewhat cruel. I believe in Fatality that she will not choke this. So let's go back to Pinkamena game. E4, C6. What's Berserk? It's when you, in the start of the game, you give up half of your time. But if you win, you gain 1 extra point. A6 is played, so we have some like Karkan defense, I think. I missed the starting of the game, and yeah, knight e5 is a huge move, because now at least we can take on c6 and then a6. For some reason, white decides otherwise, takes on g4. I don't agree with this decision. I'll be just happy to take the a6 pawn. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Bishop goes to g5. So yeah, well, at least we have 2 bishops advantage, but now we lost the key pawn on d4. That's not nice. At least she's not berserking this game, so she'll be fine in terms of time. Oh, a3 is a misclick. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Maybe there's some gentleman play that black didn't take.
Ничего тоже не получается. Вот у меня опять как бы ну, Ксюша, Арман.
For some reason, decided to go knight c5. Maybe it's a little bit of fair play. I'm not sure. But it's still gonna cost white this misclick. So we're going to a sisters game, to Fatality game. Knight goes to e5.
Не, у меня какой-то новый, нет?
Exchanging on e5. So now we once again have 2 bishops advantage, and what is this? That was really strange. For somewhat reason, black decided not to move away. Now white has an extra minor piece. It should be very easy. Bishop d3 looks unnecessary. Why will we be giving up the g2 pawn? But yeah, it seems like black's rating is like, it's not a fake one. So black just
Ну, нет там никаких
doesn't
недавних.
see
Ну, давай, я
anything.
не знаю, что, может, ты посмотришь все-таки это?
Queen g6,
Что мне
bishop g3.
посмотреть? Ну, Петров Кирилл. CFN, МСК, собака, интернет.ру.
e5 is played. Now we can take on d5. Yeah, that's it. This one is done definitely.
А у тебя нет своего аккаунта, что ли?
d8 and queen e4, yeah, that's nice. Just exchange
Так, хорошо.
queens, do
Еще
not
один
risk it
делаем.
at all. Queen goes to g5. Bishop h4 can be played now, and the game is done. Even more done than it was before this move. So let's go and watch Pinkamena game. So we have some Scotland defense. Bishop goes to c4, d6 is played. I am not an expert on the theory here, so I don't know the tendencies. Knight f6 looks risky. What's planned after bishop g5? I'm not sure. Rook d1 is a very sad blunder, because now white's position just falls apart. So black will now take on e4, then take on d1, then take on e4, then the f2 pawn is hanging, and the position is just falling apart. That's why you have to know the theory, and that's why you have to solve some tactics before you start playing this kind of tournaments. And like overall, you have to solve tactics to become good at chess. You see, in the starting, like when you are just starting your chess career and you're a weak player, yet you have to solve a lot of tactics. That's like the only thing that matters. You have to be like okay at opening, so you have to know openings, just not to straight lose like in the fifth move, not be caught with some typical opening combinations. And that's almost it. So the other part of becoming good is just solving tactics. That's it. So yeah, Fatality is just Pinkamena is just destroying her opponent, so it's just a massacre. So let's just watch the Fatality game. That's a very spicy pawn structure, actually. White has two bishops advantage, but is it really an advantage when we are talking about the g2 bishop? This bishop was kind of useless until we played f takes e4. I didn't like this move because now bishop actually can go to e6 maybe and be a little bit more active than it was. Queen d7 is played, queen c4 and rook c8. Yeah, so now we'll exchange rooks. It's not looking likely that Fatality is even playing for an advantage. Blundered the g5 pawn casually by playing h5. Seen it now, defended. I don't see this game finishing with any other result than a draw. It's just nothing even to talk about. Well, maybe some kind of an attack is happening right now. But yeah, after bishop e2, we just don't have a spacing to like create some threats. We just have to hope that opponent will blunder. And this situation really is not favoring Fatality because she is lacking time because of taking the berserk. Knight goes to f7, but actually our knight just has nowhere to go. No good places. Maybe I would like to like go somewhere to b6, a4, but how our knight just goes to b6? This route has to be very complicated. I think Fatality is just now hoping for a draw. g4 is a little bit weird move. Really was no need to play like that. Now our knight can go to f4. But it doesn't really matter because yeah, it was draw and it's draw now. So white is happy with draw as well. Knight goes to e7. Oh, black maybe is trying to win. If black wins this game, I'll be just so surprised. I don't see this coming. e5 is played. So now the position is like entirely closed. Oh wow, maybe there is some idea. Maybe knight g6, knight f4. No, knight goes to g8 instead. h6. So there is some maneuver. Maybe we're maneuvering to b7 to play a5. No, knight goes to h8 once again. Knight g6. Black declines draw. Wow, that's ambitious. Knight f4. Oh, and that's a really huge blunder, I think. I don't think that... Oh, no, maybe white still has draw. Yeah. Oh, no, why bishop d8? But yeah, it was draw still. Funny that actually white maybe have some problems. Bishop goes to f1, then e2. Nah, it's still just the position is too much draw. Oh no, and king e2 was a blunder. f3 could be played. f3 was winning actually. That was a huge blunder from white. f3 was winning the game, and maybe it's winning now. Now we took the pawn. Now we play king g3, then f3. Wow, that's so impressive. Actually, Fatality made it work somehow and won the game, despite being like very low on time. So that's why you like this player, yeah? Always find some way to to find some opportunities, like to cause problems. And this win actually is very helpful in terms of the positioning. She's now the 6th place. So let's stick with Fatality a little bit more. She's playing against a strong opponent. So the opponent is having an advantage, 3 against 2. But maybe now we'll find the equalizer. E6 is played, now B6, and maybe C5. That's a little bit weird opening. I can't even classify that nicely. I don't like what white is doing. I think C5 was maybe causing some problems. Black decided to take on C4 instead and play knight D5. So Fatality is a safe player. She doesn't like to take too much risk. That's reasonable when we play Blitz game, but oh no, knight D7. I don't like this move very much because yeah, I don't think that white had to play straight like A6, but should keep this as a threat. The pawn on A6 is still very strong, and wow, bishop E8. That's so passive. Is it really worth it? We can't even play knight D7 now because of knight C6. Queen E7 is played. I don't like black's position. I think that she overthought just everything. Had to play more normally. Rook goes to C8. I think white just has to exchange the white squared bishops. But maybe black is planning to play C6 and just block it all. Oh, C5, D5, and this looks, you see, this looks very, very correct if you are watching from white's perspective. Because black pieces are not looking ready for all this action. If the E file opens, it's going to hurt black so much. Maybe D6 can be counted now. D6, queen takes D6, and knight takes G6. Bishop F1 is played instead. I like this move as well. I think that white, it's good for white to just keep all the threats and just see what black can do to counter them all. I don't think that it's possible at this point. It's just too much. C4 is played. Now there is a D6 move. Maybe it's not winning right now because of queen D8. But maybe white can just play rook 8 D1, for example, and just put more pressure on black. D takes C6 actually is not looking like a correct move, because now all the pressure is revealed and white's pieces will slowly go back, and in terms of the like positional play, in terms of strategy, black actually has a nice pawn structure and a nice position overall. Yeah, knight goes to D7. That's a nice move because knight was threatening to go to C5, B3, D3. So white was maybe like forced to take on D7. That's what actually happened.
Так, сейчас. Ну, сейчас надо играть на телефоне-то.
King goes to H1. Queen B6. That's a very interesting game actually. Queen goes to C7 now. Bishop D4. Maybe Bishop F5 can be played. Yeah, that's it. Queen B2. So, oh, now that's blundering the A7 pawn. That's not good. But Bishop takes H3 can be played now. No, Bishop F3 will be. But it's not. It was not working. We could still play Bishop takes H3, and after Bishop F3, we'll play Bishop Queen D7. That's a missed opportunity. I don't think that black will have a lot of this kind of opportunities in this game. Maybe there was an idea of the exchange sacrifice to take on D4 and play B4, but it's missed once again. But now I'm not sure that it was working actually. White is hardly attacking the A7 pawn.
Да,
Oh, I think that black misplayed this at some point. H5 is played, queen c7. That's like a desperation. I think that black just failed some more strong moves, decides to give up the exchange. Maybe it was a blunder. We'll never know. Bishop d4, now queen c6, a7. Yeah, this is looking just desperate. Bishop goes to f8. Our only hope is a time, actually. Oh, rook a5 is... That was not necessary, to be honest, to blunder the exchange. Now this position is looking like a draw, to be honest. Bishop can go to e4 or even f5. Now to e6. Oh, and rook is blundered. Bishop takes b1. Fatality. Let's go. Take the rook. Yeah, that's it. King h2, bishop d3. Yeah, and the game is done. So white was unable to handle the nerves. Queen e4 is a nice move, and bishop f1 was good as well. Was not played. Queen takes f4 is fine. White has 9 seconds, and if Fatality is careful, and we know that she's careful, this game is done. Queen h1 is a checkmate, and what a turn around. It was really looking that White was securing another win, but 2 blunders in a row, even when you have a good position, sometimes you just can't handle it. Sorry, man, I can't speak Russian because most of our viewers are English speakers, so we have to keep it in mind, choosing the language. So maybe let's watch the Pinkamena game now. It's not like an often happening scenario that her game is competitive, and we can talk about it in terms of like who has the advantage. I think in this position, Pinkamena did a good job because now knight e2 is a threat, and it seems like black's rook is like lost and will be captured now. Knight e2 is just winning. Black even can't give up an exchange, and wow, white don't see it. Oh no, that's very bad, because now actually this rook will finish the game itself by maybe queen h5 will be played. Oh no, that's real drama. Queen h2 and now rook g4 will be played. Rook takes c3 instead. It's even better. Oh, and queen g1 is the desperation. Queen takes h4 just finishes the game. How did Pinkamena miss the knight e2 opportunity? She had so much time. Well, she's still a kid, has a lot of time to learn, but yeah, that's very sad. So back to Fatality, she's in the 5th place, trying to secure the place in the first third. The exchange is happening, and now the material is equal. White has a little bit of a space advantage, but the king is a little bit exposed. So this position may be slightly equal. I maybe would even give some advantage to black. Oh, and white blundered the bishop. What a streak of like unluck and blunders for our young players, for both of them. And this was a really important game because the opponent is 5th place. The opponent was 4th place. Yeah, she resigned. So I can go now back to Pinkamena's game. She has a berserk and her opponent is playing some weird openings, but somehow it resulted in winning an extra minor piece. But the rating of opponents is really not this huge, and the placing is not as well. 66th place. That's not very high. So maybe we still have some outs in this game. Queen goes to d2. Now maybe d5 or c5. White's pieces are not developed as well, so this gives us some chances. I'm sure she'll play bishop c4 now. This will be a blunder. Knight a3 just wins the game. I'm guessing it right, sadly. No, fortunately, White didn't see it. You see, I have a young brother as well, and he's playing chess. So, and I was also a coach, chess coach for the kids. So, I guess even the blunders very well. And it's always sad when your student makes a blunder and you know it just even before it's even done on the board. Rook d3 is played. Rook d1 was winning. How old is who? Pinkamena is 8. Fatality is 14. Rook e3 check is played. Queen e2. Pinkamena somehow just wins it casually. White decided not to develop pieces at all. Black missed a lot of opportunities. Rook d1 was winning like some moves before. I think this position is still victorious despite White having a material advantage and not losing like straight in some tactical case. Because White will just lose a lot of pawns with a lot of checks, and Black will even have more material, and I think the Rook on a1 will be lost by some tactical way. Rook c8 is played. That's a major move. I would maybe think about Queen f4 instead, but Rook c8 is a nice move. Rook Queen takes e5, and now the king definitely will be checkmated. Maybe you have to still be careful. Queen e2 is nice, I think, yeah. Now maybe Queen takes h2. Yeah, that's it. And Rook f2 check. That's it. That's nice. We'll just take the queen. Oh, she's not taking the queen. Why? Queen h1 now has to be played. Queen h1. Queen h1. Yeah, that's it. Now queen g... What? What is this? Queen g1? No, 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 no. That's not the move. No, no, no. Nah, she's lost. She's completely lost. She has so much opportunities, and now Rook takes e4, pre-move. Go. No, the check. Why is it wasting as much time as possible? Ah, no, she's not having the technique, but she's playing fast. Oh, Rook h5 is just like... That's just not fair. Oh, that's so sad. That's actually so sad. How did it even work? I can't believe it. Well, let's go back to Fatality game. Somehow she's already 4th place, despite losing the previous game. Did she have time to play one more game while I was commenting Pinkamena? Yeah, you are so true about the horror movie. That's what it is actually. I used to waste so much nerves when I was like coach myself. I can imagine how much nerves you just lose, and we can't even imagine what is like Pinkamena herself feeling about all this roller coaster. Well, at least now we'll watch Fatality game. We know that she's a strategical player, so maybe she'll just keep our health a little bit more safe. Bishop goes to d7. Now the exchange will happen, and this exchange is not really favoring black, because after losing the white squared bishop, there's no one to protect the f5 square, and it really hurts. The knight on f5 is just wrecking black's position. Oh, it's not really this hard, I'd say, because at least there are not so many pieces on the board, and the bishop on g3 is not good as well. That's Aladdin playing. If you are watching our tournaments, you know this guy. You know that he's strong. I'm actually lucky myself that in all our games I was victorious, but this guy is definitely good. Knight goes to d7. So he's aiming on the e5, then maybe d3. Oh, we have double voice? Really? We'll try to solve this problem soon. Thank you for mentioning it. h4 is played. Oh no, man, City, that's rude. That's rude. h4 is played. Queen e3 check and knight d3, and I actually think that now we have an advantage. Queen goes to f4. H takes g5, h takes g5. I actually missed the bishop f2 move, so at least white's position is safe now. Oh, and knight e2 was winning a queen. What? No, we could have played queen f6, and after bishop d4 we had a knight e5 move, but that's a blunder and a really huge one. Yeah, you know, these players are really titled, so as you can see, they're quite strong. Oh, and now you can see the Fatality herself. As you can see, she's really serious. Just don't mess with this girl, she'll just destroy you. G5 is played, what? Oh, yeah, I'm talking about the Pinkamena game, and G5 is played. For some reason, what's even the idea of this move? Maybe this was a misclick. I think Black assumed the G6 move. Or maybe it's because this rating, not even 1,500. Queen b6, rook e1. Now with an extra minor piece. Oh, and Black even blundered the queen and blundered the checkmate. As you can see, Pinkamena is happy just making this checkmate. She's so happy. That's why you play chess, you see. Oh wow, Fatality is going for some combination. Oh no, it's not really a difficult combination, it's just a blunder from Black. Now she has an extra pawn, moves the bishop back. Now our plan will be, I think, playing h4, h5, h6, and maybe then sacrificing the bishop on g6. Oh no, Fatality just decides otherwise. She's playing material, so she's making kingside castle. Now we'll go maybe h3, and the typical attack in this kind of structure, the Carlsbad structure, is to go b4, b5. The pawn minority attack, the famous one. Fatality goes for just every possible exchange. She even exchanges Black's white-squared bishop, despite it being not a good one. But still, we are happy with every exchange if we have material advantage. Knight e4 is played. That's a strange move because I think now if we take on e4, oh no, we had to take on e4 and there was no d takes e4 move because of knight g5. And after queen takes e4, we'll just exchange queens and this will be a very easy endgame. Black likes these exchanges for some reason. I don't know why. With an extra pawn, white should be more than happy with all this. Now queen c4 can be just played. And that's it. Yeah. Black will have to move the queen away. Queen f5. But we can just hunt this queen by playing queen c5, for example. Or yeah, rook d1 instead. I think queen c5 is fine. I think we will still have a victorious endgame. Rook d2 is played instead. Now rook d1. And black, I think, is thinking about queen g5. No, rook h5 is played. So black is countering the d5 move. But d5 is still played. So white won the a7 pawn. So that's one more exchange. Queen e5. Oh, I think that this sequence of moves is not really was not really good for white, because instead of queen e5, black would have played king h7, and after queen takes a7, rook g5, and I already think that that was quite scary. But now after queen d4, the queens will be exchanged, and the rook endgame should be relatively easy, especially now. Black blundered the d5 pawn. Fatality didn't take it for some reason, but she'll have another chance because this pawn still can't be defended. King f6. Now we take on d5, and yeah, it's a very comfortable victory because the rook on g5 is just out of the action. Rook d8 was not good because rook b5 was actually winning the b7 pawn and the game. It's still won now, but now we'll have to try a little bit harder. King f5. I think we have to place our rook on b6, and this will just secure the win. Oh no, g4 is played instead. I didn't even see that. So we take the e4 pawn, and it's look like it's done. Rook b4. No, rook c4 is even better. Now our king can go on e4. g5 is played. King f5. King f3 maybe. No, f3 instead. White can now play just whatever she likes, to be honest. Rook c6. Oh, she's going for a checkmate. Will rook f6 will be played or no? No, e4 instead. And then rook f6. That's brutal. Yeah, that's it. Oh, let's go for a Pinkamena game. She took a berserk and she's playing about with the opponent that is ranked worse than her. She had an opportunity to play knight takes e4, didn't use that. I don't think that it's really a big deal, to be honest. Oh wow, we have a new supporter. And Brave Robel, thanks you for your support. Knight g3, queen goes to bishop goes to g6, and f4 is played. So that's quite a usual plan. Rook goes to e8, bishop g5. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. Luckily, we at least have the bishop d4 move, so we'll like have some time to try and think of something. h6 is played. Bishop takes f6. Our pawn structure is ruined. Oh, and knight h5. Oh, that really hurts to watch. Black's position is destroyed. Goes to g7. Oh, and queen takes h7. That's even just one more blunder and the game is done. So we'll stick with the fatality for some next games. Oh, it's double berserk actually. I was about to miss a very interesting game. But it seems like we're lucky and we'll watch it. Black has an extra pawn now. But does it really matter when both of the opponents have 1 minute left? Maybe it would really matter if, but we don't have like Carlsen playing here, so. Oh, and knight c4, that was really an unnecessary blunder. This one's gonna hurt. Yeah, now black can go for d4. Well, at least I can play e3 to delay the d4 move, but after queen c4, black's bishop will comfortably be saved. Yeah, d4 is played, and I think it's like we don't have too much chances in this position. d3, now the pawn go to d2, then queen e2 check. Queen d4 is played instead. Maybe black will make some mistakes because of lacking time. Oh, actually, black blundered the d3 pawn. f4 is played, so that's a nice move because now we're threatening e5. And maybe it's not this easy to find a defense. Bishop b2 could be played. Oh, and wow, black is blundering bishop. Why? Didn't have to. And actually white has more time now. So Fatality maybe is having one more spectacular comeback right now. Oh, it's Rook Endgame, and now I think time doesn't really matter because and Black decided to try to just sneak in and take the pawn. Maybe Black was thinking that White will make it remove, but it was not the case. And now White comfortably wins the game. One more turnaround from Fatality. That's nice. Look at her. She's happy. E4, C6. Oh, Cold Zero is playing. So we have some Counter-Strike players with chess. Yeah, that's something like it's a Karakan defense, but it's a Karlsbad pawn structure, like it's in the Queen's Queen can be declined, but the sides are turned, so white are playing like black and black are playing like white. F3 is played. Now maybe bishop h5, yeah, knight f4. Bishop g6. Bishop g6 is fine, I think. Oh, even queenside castling. Black is thinking out of the box. I think most of the players would be just playing bishop g6. But maybe bishop g6 was actually better. So because now white can safely take on h5, but after bishop g6, this exchange would at least give us the h file. But now we don't have this kind of compensation. Knight goes to f6. I don't think that white actually has this much of an advantage. The attack on the queen side is not really looking too scary. Now white's plan usually is to go knight d2, knight b3, and then knight c5. That's a typical way of playing these kind of positions. a4 is played, h6. So we are going for g5 on the black side. Yeah, that's it. And we are fighting for the f4 square. We have to find time to play something like king b8 or maybe move the knight away. I think knight e7 is a fine move here. Because if you don't play knight e7, white maybe can think of b5 and b6. Yeah, that's well, I think knight e7 is played. Oh, we have some spamming in the chat. b5 is played. Queen d7, that's nice. So Fatality is just dodging the files opening. So yeah, after b6, she'll be forced to play a takes b6. But now the queen side is blocked. We can play just king b8, for example. I think we have to waste one tap on playing king b8. I don't think that we are on this kind of a rush. It's better to do it now than to blunder it later. Oh, actually she plays knight c6 and maybe she's going for knight b8. But I don't like this idea because after c4 the c file will open. The king on c8 will not feel comfortable. e5 is played. The exchange is made on b6. Black is not blundering just now, but I'm a little bit scared, to be honest. D takes c5, knight takes c5, and yeah, that's what I was talking about. So we had to play king b8, just not to blunder this at some point. That's sad, but that's fair as well. I think her plan was to play queen takes c5 instead of knight takes c5, and this was actually working. But now, without the a6 pawn, white's attack suddenly becomes just really scary because the bishop will now go away, and then the a6 move will be made. It's not maybe it's not going to be that easy because the b6 pawn is hanging at least. Oh wow, white sacrificed the bishop. I think that's. Oh, she blundered the checkmate. But seems like she couldn't avoid it. Maybe that actually was a good sacrifice. Surprisingly, I think maybe could have not taken the b6 pawn and played just like maybe king a8, for example. I'm not sure. So let's stick with Fatality until now. She was third place. Now she is seventh, but the opponent is not strong. She took a berserk, trying to win this game as fast as possible. We have one more sponsor. You guys now starting to pull out some activity. That's nice to see. Seems like our content found fans. That's really nice. Thank you, guys. H6 is played now, F5. The exchange happens on F5, so Fatality is taking space on the king side, despite her king actually being on the king side. But if you are new to chess, you may think that that's somewhat controversial, but this actually is a good idea, because when you take a lot of space on some side, it's difficult for your opponent to like comfortably place the pieces and create some threats. So in the French opening, this happens every time. And now white actually wins a minor piece. F6 is played. C4. Yeah, we have an extra minor piece, and this is just too easy. We also have a rating advantage. Let's not forget about this. Queen C7. I'm joking, of course. Of course, it doesn't matter. Just in any game, chess is like, you know, in chess, your achievements like doesn't matter at all. Your rating, like anything, your skill, your raw skill, you have to prove it every game. So that's why chess is a challenge, actually. Knight goes to h4. I would maybe think of rook e6 instead, but this doesn't really matter at this point. Or does it? Queen goes to d3. We just have to exchange rooks somehow. This will really help. Queen goes to d7. Knight goes to g6. And we'll now go to f4. And then to e6 maybe. Oh, rook e6 is played in the end. c6 was, I think, winning right now. Queen e3 is maybe winning as well. Queen b5. Rook b6 now could be played. No, I'm not guessing the moves at all. Queen goes to c7. Rook b8. Queen b6. Oh, I'm scared about white's king. How she so calm about this? Oh, why queen d7? Why didn't black go for like queen d3? That's I don't have an explanation for that. I think that was a real chance to catch white off guard. Catch white's king was so much exposed. It wasn't working, of course. I think white even could have played c6 still. But at least there was some problems. For example, c6 could be met by queen c2 check. Queen b7 check, and rook a6 finishes it now. And even with 13 seconds left, we have to win this. We have more than enough time. Queen takes on d5. I think Fatality will just win it on pre-moves. Yeah, you see, pre-move starting to go. Knight d5, queen c5, knight d7. That's very easy. She can play, for example, d5, d6. Yeah, that's it. Queen b4. Oh, queen b8 is fine. Now we take the rook. Oh, we don't. Fatality was not expecting this kind of blunder. But now with extra, like, 2 queens, I think we have to find a checkmate somehow. Or are we... No, that's so scary. Queen f7. Oh, queen c2 is nice. Ah, that's it. That was looking scary for just a little moment. You see this like the sound of reveal, the pressure. She's not happy with that. She's a little bit stressed. We'll have games like this. Let's watch Pinkamena. I think we were too much with Fatality. And Pinkamena blundered on h6. Yeah, that was not nice. At least we blundered only one pawn. We are not losing exactly. Still have some chances. g6, bishop goes to e3, bishop f6. Our king is relatively safe still. We can maybe play bishop g7, then knight f6. Create some threats. I just look at Fatality, she's so serious. Oh, okay. I think rook b8 is fine now. We'll just attack the b2 pawn, and it can be defended comfortably because rook b1 will be met with rook takes b2, and bishop c3. Actually, f4 is played. Rook b8, let's go. I think rook b8 is fine. No, black exchanged on c3 and took the e4 pawn. No, actually, that's even better. Didn't see that. Queen goes to f3, d5. f5 is played. Now I think maybe we can play queen f6, for example. Queen f6 is nice, I think. Oh, rook c4 is played. That's a weird move. I think that's not the best one. Now bishop d4 can be counted, I think. And we can play c5, but maybe white has a rook e6 resource. So black is preemptively playing queen d7. Maybe this will work somehow. Not sure. Rook e2 is played, and now rook f8 can be considered. That's it. It's played. Oh, and actually white don't have the queen d3 move because of knight f4. That's something that you can easily blunder. So queen e3 seems like the only move. Oh, and actually white blunders it. Yeah, knight f4. Wow, Pinkamena with some unexpected moves actually caught her opponent. Queen f3. Knight takes e2 now. I don't think that we have some spicy tactics. And now c5 can be played. No, queen f5 instead. I think we have to solve the problem with our rook by playing c5. We'll have to at some point. Rook e1. Now is the best opportunity, really. c5. Let's go. Let's do it, Pinkamena. No, rook a4 is played. I don't think that she even sees this move. Oh, rook takes e2. Rook takes a2. Yeah, that's nice. King h7, and white will be checkmated now. That's fine. That's really nice. Well, I still have some defense, but now c5 can be played, and I think we'll still win the game. Oh, we'll take on c2 instead. I think that's a misplay. c1 check, and now I'm really scared because we are losing the c6 pawn, and the position is starting to fall apart. Pinkamena is dangerous. Rook takes a7 is really not the best of moves. White had to play rook takes c6 check. Actually, rook a7 the huge blunder because now we're losing the g2 pawn. And we all know what rooks can do when they're both on the second rank. White is really trying to find out where it all gone wrong. Rook a2, I think, is the best move now. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's some skills from Pinkamena. And rook g to c2. Oh, and white even resigned. Decided not to play this anymore. Nice one. Nice endgame from Pinkamena, actually. The rook takes a2 move was nice. What happens in Fatality's game? She's 4th place, playing against 3rd place. So an important game. It's a Sicilian defense. Bishop e3, bishop b4. We have some theory here. Knight takes on c6, f3. That looks like a theory. d5, e takes d5. E takes d5, I think this theory. Yeah, now maybe bishop d3. No? Ah, no, bishop d3 will be met by d4. So bishop e2 instead. Queen a5. I think we can just sacrifice this pawn. Yeah, just castle. I don't think that it's a real threat. Oh, she's smiling. Castling. Now we can play maybe bishop d4. I think this will be nice. No, a3 instead. Look at it, look at her. She's just insisting on sacrificing this pawn. It's actually a good idea because I don't think that black can take this sacrifice because of bishop d4 and bishop takes f6 and the attack looks scary. So black decides to exchange bishops. Rook b8, rook b1, the pawn is defended. Black is a nice position to be honest, but I think this is just quite an equal one. Oh, if she could read this comment right now, I think she'll be happy to read this. Nice guys, some activity coming from you. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for your support. Bishop goes to e6. Knight e2 maybe can be played. Oh, a4 instead. So, oh, that's nice. Actually, white, I think white wants to play knight e2, but preemptively plays a4 to prevent the idea of black playing a4 themselves. Knight e2, no? Rook d1 first. Rook e1. I think white wasted some time, to be honest. We are just one move late, I think. I thought that black maybe would play bishop c8, but no, queen b4 instead. I think that endgame really is nice for white. Especially now. I doubt this decision because the a4 pawn actually might be very decent. We'll just play king g1, king f2. The bishop will go on f1. Oh, now we'll go to b5, actually. Yeah, that's it. Rook d8. Now f4 maybe, then knight f3. I think we have some nice places for our pieces. Oh, I really doubt this decision. I don't think that we had to make this exchange. Because bishop is much stronger than the knight in end games. And that's usually underestimated by young players as well. Maybe we are hoping that it's a blitz game and actually we'll use the potential of our knight in our favor. Rook c8 is played. Now we have to, we definitely have to play f4, then knight f3, then knight d4. That's the right maneuver. d4 is. At this point, we just have to play knight takes c4 and make a draw. Yeah, that's actually what happened. a5, I think, is a fine move. Rook if. Oh no, maybe it wasn't because now there is a d3 or b3. Oh, that's a blunder and a half. Oh, but now rook b1 can be played, but rook b1 there is the c2 move. c5. Well, at least we are not losing yet. Rook c8 check. There's rook c8 check, and king takes c3. Black didn't find a way to convert this tactical advantage. And now there is a drawn pawn endgame. Neither side have any chances. Maybe the white has chances by playing king d4 now. G4. No, that's a stone cold draw. I don't think that it's even possible to win. Even if white just try hard, I don't think that has some chances to lose. f5. Yeah, so black is not even trying, and because black knows that we're playing the arena tournament, so we have to like play fast.
Нет, кстати, у меня очень мало резинок. Я тоже села. Честно, у меня был 1860.
Oh, actually, Pinkamena finished her game with a checkmate. The win against skilled opponent with a 2100 of rating, even more than that. So once again, let's watch the fatality game. She has a berserk. Queen d7, h3. So that's some weird opening from black. Black decided to give up the bishop. At least now white can castle because the h3 pawn is hanging. So we played bishop f4, and I think this was not a nice move. Maybe it wasn't. Because now e5. Oh, e5 is a blunder. That's nice. But actually, if black played king b8 first, that was somehow a nice idea. The opening was weird, but it was working. Oh, black could have at least won the 2 minor pieces for the queen, but didn't even use this opportunity. And white even has a queen for the 1 minor piece and 1 pawn. I don't think that it's even worth observing. So no, but we actually don't have a choice now because Pinkamena is waiting for her next opponent. So we'll just have to learn from fatality how to convert your material advantage. Actually, it's not maybe going to be this easy because we still have 52 seconds and the position is relatively closed. But now she successfully opens it by playing b5. Sacrificed on she blundered the a3 knight, but it went through. She was scared for a moment. We can see that. h5 is played. Now maybe a4, a5, a6. Simple as that. No, knight d4 is played instead. The exchange happens on e3. You can just f takes e3 is a nice move. We actually open the file for our rook. Now we'll take on f6, and this becomes much easier than it was. Bishop d6. Now maybe knight f5 or knight b5. Fatality may choose whatever she likes, actually. Maybe some other move. Oh, yeah, king g2. That's nice. Safe. Queen goes to c1. h4 is played. g4. Nothing to be scared about. Rook f8. We'll just exchange. Knight goes to f5, and that's a really strong position for the knight. a4, but we have 22 seconds. Bishop c5, a5. King b8, a6. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. b6, now a7. That's nice. So now we'll have a lot of tactical ways to finish the game, actually. So we can consider maybe queen b1, queen b5, something like that. Knight goes to a5. Now we can play queen d1, and there is no rook takes f5 tactical motive because now there is no knight, actually. Oh, and rook f8 just blunders everything because white are forced to take on a5, not to be checkmated. But now with an extra queen and an extra knight, it's going to be very easy. So, ooh, I was about to say that fatality is going to pre-move her way to the victory, but now it's become scary. So she really don't like easy ways to win. Knight takes e2. Let's go. No. The exchange happens. Oh no. Do we still have time? Queen f2, queen f3. Let's go. Queen f3. Queen f3. No. That's not a good idea. Knight g1. Pre-move. Oh no. She lost. Oh my god. That's the lack of experience. That's actually the lack of experience. Look at her. She's so sad. And yeah, I'm not feeling too much better about this. That's what actual experience means, guys. So I think that after some years, even with the same skill, she will not do that mistake again. Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Well, let's give Fatality some break. I think she might be tilted now. And watch the Pinkamena game. She's struggling in the Rook end game. For some reason, her opponent doesn't like to exchange rooks. She offers a draw. That's what I call the fighting spirit. I don't know what white is doing. I think white is just PMing. I don't see the reason why white don't want to exchange rooks. d6. Well, the board might be small, but I don't think that we have any way to make it bigger, because then you'll not see the reactions of the players, and I don't think that most of our viewers will like that change. Well, let's go to fatality games once again. Pinkamena is about to lose and has no chances in this exact game. Queen b3. Let's see if fatality is not tilted. She didn't take a berserk. That's a good decision. Oh, and her opponent is just reacting her so hard. 3-0. Maybe that's the time to get some revenge. Black's pawn structure is not nice. The d5 pawn is weak. The king is relatively open. So we'll have to play very accurate now. I think queen f7 is the move, because the b7 pawn is hanging as well. Rook b8 looks scary from tactical perspective, and yeah, it's not working. It wasn't working because of bishop takes e4, and then rook takes d5. But white didn't find this. I mean, queen goes to f7. This is not working as well because of. Oh no, it is working actually. I thought that white has knight takes e4, f takes e4, rook takes e4, but queen takes f2 is the move, and it's not working. f3, now knight c5 can be played, or knight takes d2. Yeah, knight c5 is the move. At least one of my guesses it was correct. So now we're exchanging, then rook e8 maybe. We have to go for a draw. I don't think that us winning this game actually. The pawn is too weak. And even the drawing this game will not be this easy. I think knight e5 was the chance now. Knight e5 was a strong move. This opportunity is missed. And now maybe you have to play king h8 to make the idea rook a8 available. Rook e8. Yeah, that's the move. Nice one. Fatality, let's go. Knight c5 is played, and now rook e8. Let's go. Rook e8. That was the idea, wasn't it? Knight e6. Oh no, and now white will take on d5. She had to play rook e8 and she knows it. Look at her reaction. Queen takes d5 is possible now. But at least we have the knight d8 move. Oh, actually, maybe knight d8 is winning for some reason. How is this even possible? What a weird tactics. I didn't see that coming at all, and white didn't as well, as you can see. That's fun. The worst of the problems is that now we can play the queen d5 is an important move, or queen d7 even better. Oh, but white actually have a knight e6 move, so we'll not straight lose it. But now we can play queen d2, yeah. Oh, and queen e3 is blundered. Queen e3 check, yeah, that's it. King f1 was the only move. Well, 55 seconds. The opponent knows that he has no chance. And he resigns. Oh, actually, we can see Pinkamena finally getting some form. Oh, she's capturing the h7 queen. Let's go. Rook h8 will win the queen right now. White is trying to figure out the way of saving the queen, but it's not looking possible. Good job, Pinkamena. And what happens in Fatality game? Double Berserk. Oh, wow. And the opponent has a very huge rating. Chess legend. Let's see if this guy is really a legend. Night before, we gave up the b7 pawn for some reason, and he didn't take it. I think this guy is not a legend. Bishop goes to f6, bishop d3, g6 is defending from the checkmate. Now bishop g7. This exchange definitely favors us because when your opponent has an isolated pawn, you have to exchange pieces, and Fatality loves exchanges. Now we can just double down on the d file. Queen f4. Oh no, it's not a blunder. Fatality, don't worry. Queen takes d2. Your opponent blundered, not you. Oh, actually, this position is very pretty much won because of king g8. And then we'll even take on d4. And successfully convert this. Let's go. Oh, f6 is played. Wow. And rook takes d5. She counted some tactics. And it works. Wow. Rook e2. And now we can just play queen c1 check, then queen c7 check. Queen c7. Let's go. Queen c7. Rook d8 is played instead. Oh, I'm scared. Queen c7 was better. Now queen g5. Let's go. Now rook takes d4. We maybe can even pre-move that. Rook takes d4, yeah. Queen f4 is threatened. But 20 seconds. Rook d2, nice move. Oh, I'm not feeling good about this, to be honest. Queen takes b7 can be played, but we'll play rook d7. Rook f4, rook d7, 14 seconds. The pawn on f2 is defended. Queen d5 is a nice move. Queen c3 check. King g8, nah, yes, that's nice move once again. Now rook d8, rook d1 then. And now we're just, oh wow, that's a nice move. Rook f1, queen d1, it's not going to be working. Oh no, that's such a drama. We had an extra rook, but I said you from the start that I have a bad feeling about this, but this is these kind of positions that are usually lost when you're low on time. This was not easy. Because with the open king, there are so many checks. Oh, she's so desperate. Guys, she needs your support. Yeah, that loss just hurts. We have one game left, and well, let's watch the Pinkamena game at last. There is a Sicilian opening, I think. Oh, and Pinkamena is down a minor piece once again. So maybe let's instead watch the Fatality game. Give her a chance to get her revenge, at least to win the final game and tournament on a good, like, on something good. This might be a theory, but I don't recognize this exact variation. I think that white blundered the g2 pawn, and for some reason black didn't take it. White sacrifices on c3, but it was not good to take on c3 because of the bishop b2. Bishop goes to d6, and I think now the position is relatively equal. Knight b5 is a threat. So king b8 is a good move. But g5 I think is a mistake because of knight b5. Now bishop c3 also can be played. I think that this move just ruins all the the position becomes, the pieces are not defended, and that's something you can use to find some tactics. Rook d1 is a misplay. Knight takes c7 was winning right now. Fatality didn't notice it. I think she's just tired. Bishop d4. c6. Oh, maybe actually this was even better. Bishop e5 can be played now. I think bishop b5 check is fine. Then knight c7, then knight e6. And the game is pretty much done. Not even knight e6, knight d5 is better maybe. Bishop a7 is played instead, and bishop d4. This is good as well. I think this position is An easy victory, just many ways. That's one of them. Now queen c2 maybe. Oh no, queen c2 is not working. Knight a3. I don't like this move too much. Knight goes to c4, g4, h4, g3, f3. White is just dodging. Black is trying to open the g file and white is dodging this. e6 is threatened. e6 and knight b6 check. e4, I mean. e4 and knight b6 check. e4, knight f4, knight b6 check. Queen's e3 now. I'm becoming a little bit scared because white's idea was definitely to play queen a3 and she didn't see that this pawn is... Oh, it's a blunder. Black blundered the f4 knight. And the h4 as well. Knight d5 check, I think, is winning the queen. Let's go, you can do it. 13 seconds. She wasted too much time. b6 can be played because of queen c7. So black has to give up the queen. That's nice. We'll take on e6, and I think we have just enough time to play queen c7 check. That's it. I think the final game will actually be won by us. Queen, bishop c5 check. Oh no, she didn't fight it. Bishop c5, let's go. Queen b6 is played instead. I don't want the drama in the last game. Please win it. Queen c5, rook d4, rook b4, rook a4 check. Queen b5, nice. Queen c7 now, and rook a6. Yeah, that's it. Just done it. But once again, this was too stressful for the comfort. She's starting one more game, but she'll not have... Oh, she will have time for this. Let's go. Maybe she can find some more rankings, right in the end of the tournament. She has 3 minutes, and that's exactly enough because the players, both players took the berserk. f4 is played. f6. We don't even have to rush because we'll definitely have time. There is no additional time. It's 3 plus nil. Queen d4, rook c8, rook c1. White has a little bit of an advantage because the pawns are weak. We also have bishop against knight. e4 is played. That's a nice move. Now the pawn will be very weak. The opponent is not strong. Come on, you can do it. Oh, the pawn will not be weak. We'll win the pawn, actually. And we'll have a rook ending with an extra pawn, if we like. But maybe... I think this position will be pretty much a draw, so maybe we can try to fight something more. No, Fatality decides to play it safe. That's a fine decision. Rook a1 check is a huge mistake. You can't play like this in a rook endgame. And rook a7 is even worse. Black had to find some counterplay. Play rook a1, rook e2, something like this. Now white will place his rook on b6 and will slowly win this endgame. Rook b6 should be played. Come on, let's go. Rook b6. If you watched some Rubinstein games, you'll just see a lot of his rook end games where he found a win playing like this. So you can learn from old classics. But thankfully the opponent blundered and Fatality has her final win and maybe secures a place in the best fifth. Pinkamena lost her last game. Now we'll just wait 55 seconds to know the standings. So guys, did you like the stream? What place do you think will Fatality finish? Maybe 7th, 6th? She's worried. I'm actually thankful that you're writing some ideas how to make our streams better. But yeah, some of these ideas just can't be handled because we don't have some technical resources. Oh, now you can see Pinkamena is having some fun. 0. So now we can see what the standings are. Let's go. Say goodbye to Fatality. She ended this tournament in the 6th place. That's quite nice. What about Pinkamena? She is... let's just watch it. She is 44th. She can do better, I think. But yeah, now we're finished. Goodbye, guys. See you next time. Thank you for your attention. See you next Monday. Bye. Тебе, конечно, так не везло. Ты столько выпустила там партий, конечно.
Да. Ставлю. Вот, короче.
У тебя вот видишь, вот, например, в той партии, где у тебя было там с ферзем, типа 8 секунд, то есть там вообще лучше без прямых уже играть. То есть ты же и так успеешь. То есть так ты чуть-чуть рискуешь, и вот тебе в этот раз тебе не повезло.
Слушай, я уже устала. Я просто сижу, у меня все расплывается. Мне даже пятки расплываются. Я потому что слишком много перед монитором сижу. И я уже сижу и такая, это ферзь или слон? Или ладья или слон? Я не знаю. У меня херня там с ладьином, с Тимуром перекатала. Ну ладно.
Ферзь 6 у тебя было, ну конечно.
Да, вообще.
Ну это тяжело, блин, при всех играть еще.
Ну да, ну позорить. Но...
А мы стрим не закончили, походу?
А?
Мы стрим не закончили.
Ну, можно еще побазарить.
Я могу сказать всем. Все, блин, все, в следующий раз в очках буду играть, мне глаза расплывают.